or liberalizing exchange rate, these were good interventions. Now, were they done at the right time? Those are certain questions. And were there other things that should be done that have not been done? These are other issues. And I think we must make that decision. So it's not enough to say, oh, they removed subsidy. You had to. When you get to a point where 100% of your revenue goes into debt service, you cannot continue. Where is the money going to come from? However, if you decide to remove subsidy and liberalize exchange rate in an environment of very loose monetary conditions, before you have tightened money supply, the naira drops to a bottomless pit. Okay, so that was a timing issue. Okay, secondly, we've removed the subsidy. We're not spending it. What we should now see is fiscal consolidation. You cannot remove wastages and continue borrowing.
From reforms to results, the message is clear. How Nigeria's economy...
What is missing in Nigeria is not learning. How many graduates do you have in government? I went through university. It's not about learning. At least not about academic learning. You know, people go there and they're simply behaving like children who were not well brought up. Look, economics can be common sense. The truth is, I don't think there is any serious economist who would not have told you 10 years ago that this is where we're going to end up.
Absolutely.
There are certain things you do. I know where you're going to end up. If you continue inflating fuel import numbers and taking money out of the ration account and saying you're paying subsidy, that is not subsidy. It is not a limitless goal. Okay? If you continue printing money like there's no tomorrow, the ways and means, just printing money, and then pretending that you can keep the naira artificially strong, you create room for arbitrage, people become multi-millionaires in the short term, but you know that the economy is going to suffer. These are things that we said. So when you talk about calling out people in the past, that's not the problem. The problem is calling out people in the present. So what I find in Nigeria is when people are in power, people like us who take risks speak, everybody keeps quiet. When they die, everybody now opens his mouth. So there is no point talking about dead people. You talk to them when they are there. And if none of us speak, these things change. This is the first point. The second point is we must make a distinction between tactical, even if necessary, interventions and reform. Okay? I personally have an auditor. We had a debate on subsidy over 10 years ago. I have always said the subsidy regime was unsustainable. We cannot continue supporting foreign refineries. When we're an oil-producing country, keep refineries open.